Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into that critical moment. You know the one. You're a SOC analyst, you've been digging through alerts, and boom, you find it. A real, honest-to-goodness threat. So, what happens next? Let's break down the essential steps you have to take after you've found the bad guy. Okay, so this is it. You've confirmed it's a true positive. Your heart might be beating a little faster, and that's totally normal. Finding the threat is a huge step, for sure. But the real work, the part that actually protects the company, well, that's just getting started. To handle what comes next, you need a toolkit. And I'm not talking about software here. I'm talking about 3 fundamental skills that turn your analysis into actual, decisive action. Here they are: reporting, escalation, and communication. Think of these as the 3 legs of a stool. They're the bridge that takes you from "I found something bad" to "we're taking care of it." Getting these right is what makes a great analyst. First up is reporting. And look, this is so much more than just jotting down a few notes. It's about building the official story of what happened, a clear, detailed record of your investigation. Next, we have escalation. This is the formal handoff. It's what you do when an alert is just too big, too nasty, or needs actions that are above your pay grade. It's how you officially call in the cavalry. And finally, there's communication. You gotta remember, security is a team sport. You can't do it all from your desk. You'll need to talk to people, maybe from IT, maybe the user whose machine is acting up, to get the full picture. All right, let's really dig into that first tool, because honestly, everything else is built on the back of a good report. Learning how to write a killer report is an absolute game changer for any analyst. So why does this matter so much? Well, first off, a good report saves your L2 analyst a ton of time. They can get up to speed in minutes, not hours. Second, raw logs, they often get deleted after a while. Your report, though, that's the permanent record. And you know what? Writing everything out clearly actually helps you understand the situation better. It makes you a sharper analyst. So how do you write a great report? It's actually pretty simple. Just think like a journalist and use the 5 W's. Who was involved? What exactly happened? When did it happen? Where did it take place? On what machine or IP address? And the big one, why are you calling this a true positive? Answer those 5 and you've got a solid report. Okay, so you've got your perfectly written report on a confirmed threat. That leads directly to your next major decision. Do I handle this myself, or is it time to escalate this thing to L2? And these are your main triggers for escalation. A major cyber attack? Yeah, that's a no-brainer. But it's also when you need to do something like isolate a machine or reset a password. And here's a really important one. You escalate when you're not sure. Seriously, it is always, always better to ask for help than to close an alert you don't really get. The how is usually easy. You just reassign the ticket. But the critical part, the part people sometimes forget, is to make sure the handoff is clean. Don't just toss it over the virtual wall. Ping your L2, give them a heads up, and make sure they've actually seen it. Now, knowing the rules is one thing, but the real world, well, it likes to get complicated. So let's walk through a few common, high-stress situations you might actually run into. So imagine this. You've got a really urgent alert. The clock is ticking, and your L2 analyst is completely unresponsive. They're not answering chat. Nothing. What's your move? Do you just wait? No way, you absolutely do not wait. Every good SOC should have an emergency contact plan. If you can't reach the L2 on chat, you call their phone. Still no answer? You go to the L3. Still nothing? You call your manager. The worst possible thing you can do when things are critical is nothing. Okay, here's a tricky one. You see signs that a user's Slack account has been compromised. You need to talk to them to see if it's really them. But how do you contact them without tipping off the bad guy who might be listening in? This is a golden rule, folks. You never, ever use the channel that you suspect is compromised. Ever. Because you might be talking directly to the attacker. You have to use an out-of-band method. Pick up the phone. Use a different verified contact method. Anything but the breached account. Oof, this is a tough one for anyone. That sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize days later that you might have closed an alert that was actually a real threat. What do you do? The answer is simple. Even if it's hard, you speak up. Immediately, go right to your L2 or your manager and tell them what you're worried about. Hiding a potential mistake is so much more dangerous than admitting one. Remember, attackers can sit silently on a network for weeks.
That little nagging feeling you have might be the last chance to catch them before they do real damage.
So when you pull all this together, the reporting, the escalating, the communicating, you see that your role as an L1 analyst is huge. You're not just finding alerts, you are the person who kicks off the entire defense process. You're the tripwire.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Your ability to explain a complex threat simply and clearly is the ultimate test of how well you understand it. It's what gives everyone else on your team, the L2s, the responders, the power to act fast and act right. Your clear communication is the first line of defense. So the question isn't just about what you can find, it's about how well you can tell its story.